Hello. Oh my gosh. I am live. I'm sitting here tapping away. Hey there. It's Tracy Matthews, Chief Visionary Officer of Flourish and Thrive. And I am here today to talk a little bit more about an exciting celebration that we have. Today is the 300th episode of the Thrive by Design podcast. And I am beyond thrilled because I'm going to chat a little bit more about the missing link and lessons from multiple 6 and 7 figure business owners, because this is our 300th podcast episode celebration. And I'm also going to share with you a free gift that I'm giving away. And I'm going to share that in a minute. You are not going to want to miss it. It is called the Aligned Vision Planner. So I'm going to ask you a quick question here. Do you ever wonder why you aren't getting where you think you want to go? And the reason why I want to ask that is because I'm going to get real right now with you and share the secrets to multiple 6 and 7 figure jewelry brands and the secrets behind how they can actually double and triple their sales every single year. Here's the thing. It's not better marketing. It's not ads. It's not something else. And if you listen in, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the gist. Once again, I'm Tracy Matthews. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer over here at Flourish and Thrive Academy. I've got my girl Quay behind the scenes over here on Facebook. If you're watching on another channel in one of our Facebook groups or on YouTube, awesome, because I'm streaming through StreamYard. So I'm streaming to multiple places at the same time. And for those of you who don't know me, I have a podcast called Thrive by Design, where I come in every single week and deliver free value to all of you. It is a labor of love of mine. I enjoy it so much. And today is our 300th episode, celebration or episode. And I've been doing this podcast for about 3 or 4 years. And I did it as basically a response to getting in front of more jewelry designers, more makers, more creative product brands, and really helping you grow your business and meeting you right where you are. There is a lot of, excuse me while I take a sip. If you haven't listened to the podcast yet, I highly recommend that you go and subscribe right now, because it's an amazing show. But more than anything, today I want to talk a little bit more about the missing link that, and part of the reasons why a lot of jewelry brands kind of stagnate and have struggle actually building momentum in their business. And couple of years ago, right before COVID, actually this was the beginning of 2020, I held a workshop in New York City. It was right before things got locked down. It was in January, and it was a planning session. And I gave this one exercise to the attendees of the workshop to help them really dial in where they're going. Because one of the biggest problems that I see entrepreneurs and business owners make, and jewelry designers and across any field really, is that they don't have a clear path of where they're going. And this is not just about planning. This is about creating a massive, big, vivid vision that paints the picture of what it is that you're trying to create. Because if you don't have that, if you're not really clear on where you're going, it's really hard to align what you're doing in your business with what you desire. And so I did this exercise, and you guys probably know Sabina Hitchin, who is our PR coach over here at Flourish and Thrive. Well, she went through this and realized that she had been playing really small and getting in her own way and becoming this almost in a way like a self-defeating prophecy. And I'm calling it that because a lot of the stuff that she was doing in her business was actually not really aligned with where she wanted to go. And so I want to share this with you because she made a couple of simple shifts that actually changed everything for her business. It helped her double her sales during COVID. It helped her continue to grow. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, because it actually works. In fact, we did the same exercise with another designer over here at Flourish and Thrive, Karina Harris. And I do this with my momentum students all the time. And last year, even though she lost 50% of her sales because in-person shows went away, she replaced that income selling online, manifested the home of her dreams, met a guy, and all the things were kind of flowing in the direction of what she was trying to create. So I want to ask you this question right now for anyone who's here. And if you're here, I would love for you to just pop in the chat. Let me know your name and your business and share with me a little bit more about you. For anyone who's here, do you ever feel defeated because you don't feel like you are getting where you want to go? And that kind of frustrates you. Like you're kind of like spinning your wheels, not really moving forward. Well, if that's the case, what I want to share with you is the secret to how these women or these other designers, men too, have really nailed this down. And it starts with creating an aligned vision that is that kind of sets the course for where you're going. And I create this amazing resource for all of you in honor of the 300th episode of our podcast. It is called the Aligned Vision Planner, and it's yours for free. And I'm going to tell you how to get it in just a minute. So basically, the gist of this exercise is to get really clear on where you've been, what you want to create, and then dial in a plan to where you're going. Does this make sense? Give me a thumbs up or a heck yes in the comments if this makes sense with you. So the first step of this is to be able to evaluate and review your business. And so this starts with taking a look at the last 3 years. You take a look at what worked, what didn't work, what was in alignment, the things that you did that kind of fell flat, the things that you did that were successful, and get really clear on what that looks like. You can do a 3-year evaluation and then dial that into a tighter 1-year evaluation. The second step of this is to ask yourself the right questions. Now, I think that in the process of really growing your business, it's really important for you to get crystal clear on what it is that you want to create, right? So what do you want your life to look like? What is if you have a team, are you building a team? What does that look like? If you want to have a solo business, where's your time spent? How is your energy? How do you feel on a day-to-day basis? You need to ask yourself the right question. Then you need to cast a really big vision. This is all about painting the picture of where you're going. And in his book, Vivid Vision, Cameron Herold talks about how great companies survive and how the other ones kind of fall flat. And it all starts with creating this vivid vision for your business and sharing it with other people. So that might be talking about this with your friends and your family. It might be, it definitely means talking about it with anyone who's working inside of your company and getting them sort of like on board with where you're going. And then the next step of this is to really align your actions with where you're going in business and life. And the biggest mistake that I see people make is that they do a bunch of stuff that is not aligned with that vision. Does this make sense? And so they're putting all these business strategies out there, or they're focused on a bunch of things that just aren't working, and they have no way of getting there. And so I want to ask you, are you ready to actually get your vision aligned? And I want to ask Quay, are you ready to share a little bit more about the exercise or the free planner that we're giving away? Let me know. Give me a heck yes in the comments, Quay, if we're ready to share it. Because at the end of the day, creating this aligned vision and getting everything dialed in your business with where you're going, what you're trying to create, and so much more will change everything. And I am super excited to share this with you. So in honor of the 300th episode of the Thrive by Design podcast, I created a really amazing resource. It is called the Aligned Vision Planner. It is a 33-page document that I only give to my high-end coaching clients, that I only have worked with with my consulting clients, and also with our momentum students over here at Flourish and Thrive. So I've developed this over the years. It's the same planner that I've used to get crystal clear on where I'm going. And it's the exact same exercise that we did in our momentum workshop a couple of months ago. Let me take a sip. And so I developed this planner as a gift to you. My only request is that you rate and review the Thrive by Design podcast. So here's how you're going to do this. If you're interested in learning more about this and grabbing this planner for yourself, trust me, it is amazing. And I'm going to have Quay drop the actual URL in the chat as well. If you're on Facebook, you can, actually, I'm going to drop it right now. If you're on Facebook, you can type the number 300 in the comments below, and you should get a messenger message unless you're in a group. If you're somewhere else, you can actually just head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/podcast review. What that is going to do is going to take you to a page that you can basically upload your podcast review. Here's the link. And the reason why this is important is because, so you're going to rate and review the podcast. You're going to take a screenshot of that rating and review. We're going to ask you to rate and review the podcast on Apple iTunes. We give you a short form just to give your name, and your email address so that we can deliver the review. You're going to upload the screenshot. If for some reason you don't listen to podcasts on Apple Podcasts, over at flourishthriveacademy.com/Apple, it will take you right there. If you don't listen to your podcast on Apple Podcasts or don't have access to it because you have an Android, you can write us a 1 to 3 sentence little testimonial and upload that with your picture, and we'll just use that on the blog. Once you upload the podcast, you're going to get your podcast review. You're going to get an email with a link to this Aligned Vision workbook. You're going to notice on the second step of the podcast review that I'm hosting a workshop. And that workshop, if you join us within the next 3 days, it's going to happen on May 18th in honor of my mom's birthday. My mom passed away 22 years ago, and she is the reason that I even have a jewelry business to this day. And that workshop is basically on early bird pricing right now at the investment of $47. It is not necessary, but if you want to be able to solidify this and create a plan that actually aligns the ideas that you have in your business with everything that you're trying to create in your life, then I highly recommend doing that and joining us for that workshop. It's going to be a 4-hour workshop. It's total value. We're going to do breakout sessions. I'm going to help you identify and validate which ideas are good ideas so that you can move forward with them and help you remove the things that aren't aligned with where you're going in your business. Because it's not just enough to create this vivid vision or paint the picture of where you're going. What is most important is that you actually solidify those things and understand how to align what you're doing with the growth of your company. So if you want to download this workbook, all you have to do is type the number 300 in the comments below if you're here on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube or somewhere else, there's a link that I dropped in the chat. You can head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/podcast review and get this yourself. So I love it. Maureen is saying, happy 300 podcast episode day. Thank you so much. We are so excited and so much more. So I'm really looking forward to your support in this. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us over at support@flourishthriveacademy.com. And we are happy to answer any questions. Once again, if you'd like to grab the Aligned Vision workbook, it is yours for free. All I'm asking is that in exchange for a quick 1 to 3 sentence podcast review. And the reason why I'm asking for the podcast review is that we are really trying to reach more people like you. And when you rate and review the podcast on Apple iTunes, that basically just helps us push the podcast out to more people like you. And it shows that this podcast is a relevant podcast. And, we come at this every single week for free. And I'm adding so much value in that podcast. And it's my pleasure. Let's see, Maureen saying, I was about to listen to it when I saw you were going live. Awesome. Yeah, definitely go listen. But, as the podcast has grown, it's super helpful to get more of those reviews because it helps push it out in the podcast in the Apple platform. And the Apple podcast platform accounts for where I think 80 to 90% of podcasts are actually listened to. So I want to thank you again. I can't wait to hear what you think about the episode. Once again, if you want to grab this free Aligned Vision Planner, once again, it's 33 pages of goodness. All you have to do is head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/podcast review and grab it for yourself today. If you'd like to join us for the workshop, it is on early bird until Thursday. You can get it for $47 instead of $97. And that will go live on May 18th. Either way, the Aligned Vision Workbook is yours for free. And I'm excited to support you in the growth of your business. Ciao for now. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.